Hi, this is Phil Races again from Turnkey Real Estate. Today I'm going to be discussing things that are always asked of me from sellers. What upgrades or improvements are most important prior to them selling, or even if they're not going to sell, something they want to do so they can enjoy it for the next 5 to 10 years before they sell. So it's important to do smart upgrades. First thing is the curb appeal. Fresh landscaping. If you have an old landscape and you want to redesign it, well, you got to take everything down, especially if the shrubbery is covering all the windows, and you don't want that. You want all shrubbery to be below the windowsills. So you take everything out, and then you have to plan what type of plants and shrubbery that you want to put in. So I would suggest that if you're not going to use a landscape designer, as I was more than 30 years ago, you go to one of the big box stores or one of the nurseries out in Long Island or wherever you may reside and see what the plants are. They also might give you some ideas as to how you might want to landscape your outside. I would take a nice little video of your home, the front, the sides, and the rear. And again, you have to start with a budget. You need to know what you want to spend, because you can spend a few thousand, you can spend up to 50,000 or more. So budget is most important. Then the other thing you can do is also make sure that your house is clean. You might want to power wash it if you have vinyl siding. You don't want to put too much pressure on it, so you don't want to damage the vinyl siding. But it's a good idea to do that and make sure that your gutters and leaders are cleaned out. I happen to have put in a leaf filter system myself. There are companies that do that, but I was able to do it for, I think it was $3 or $50 or $400. I hired somebody to install these filters that you can buy online. But again, if you don't want to bother with that, you can hire a company. But the price is a lot more money. I think I was quoted $5,000 to do my home. I ended up doing it for, I think it was close to $400 with the labor. But the important thing is to have curb appeal. The other thing is, how old is your door? Your mailbox? Are there any lights on the outside that you can highlight the path walking up to your front door, which is where you want some nice, colorful flowers? That would highlight it. So when somebody drives by, there's going to be an appeal that many houses don't have. And it's going to give them or spark a curiosity that they want to come in and take a look at it. Because that's what people do. They sometimes do drive-bys before they even make an appointment. They'll check the neighborhood out. They'll check how well the homes in that area are taken care of. So those things come into play, and it will affect your price if and when you decide to sell, whether it be now, near future, or years from now. And it's important when you're maintaining that outside to keep all your shrubbery below the windowsill. If you want to hide a drain pipe, then you can put in some type of an evergreen. Or if there's something, let's say an electric meter or a gas meter, you want to cover those items. So now, if you take the interior, you want a neutral paint. You don't want to paint specifically to your specific likes and needs and what you're feeling, oh, that's my favorite paint. Paint a neutral, a light cream colored or white. You want some modern LED lighting also to be able to save money and at the same time make it more updated. How is your flooring? Is your flooring in good shape? Does it need sanding, or does it need to be fixed or replaced? Whether you're using hardwoods, oak, or maple, or do you want to put in granite tiles? So you have to decide what you want to do with the flooring. Also, new hardware on cabinets, assuming your cabinets are somewhat updated, or if you don't have the budget for it, put new hardware on your cabinets. This way it'll give it a little fresher look. But again, you must have a budget so you stay within that budget and you don't go overboard, because you may or may not get back all that money depending on how much you're going to spend. So you want to be very careful when you're doing that. Now, as far as your kitchen, are the cabinets, can you reface them? How is the backsplash by your stove or by the sink? Are you going to use quartz or granite? Or you're going to use formica? Today, granite and quartz are really in. That's what you want. And also, if you're going to replace your appliances, you want to use stainless steel appliances so that everything matches. So when people walk in that kitchen, they go, wow, this is really nicely done. Because kitchens are what sell a house besides the bathroom. So kitchens and bathrooms are most important. So now, do you have an eat-in kitchen? Or it is a galley kitchen? Or is it an efficiency kitchen? Do you have a table, a nice table? The next thing I want to discuss is your bathroom, because that's one of the variables that helps sell a house. And what you do in that bathroom and how much you spend can have a marked difference in getting parties to be interested in not only seeing the house, but making offers. So you have to look at your bathroom as a buyer. Is your vanity and mirror, are they new? Are they old? How about the fixtures? How about the shower doors or the actual shower or bathtub? So you got to look at that as a whole. And if you do one thing to one area and you make it newer, you have all the older stuff. So it's not the best approach. You're either going to just do a little bit of painting, change a few fixtures, or you're going to just basically gut renovate the bathroom. And again, if you're going to live in the house for a good length of time and you want to enjoy these improvements, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Enjoy it. Because I always say, there's no U-Haul behind your hearse. You take nothing with you, but your soul and your memories, your possessions stay there. So if you're leaving the home to your kids, or you're going to sell the house, or whatever it might be, you want to enjoy reap the benefits of your income and what you've been able to do over a lifetime. So it's important to make the bathroom the way you want it, whether it's a plain bathtub, a jacuzzi, or just a plain shower. It's important to have at least one bathtub in your home, assuming you have two bathrooms, because if a young family buys it, whether they have kids or small children or going to have children, they need a bathtub to be able to take care of their children. The shower is not going to work, so you want to keep that in mind. So that's most important. Now those are the two most important things, the kitchen and the bathroom. But there's functional upgrades that are important also. Functional upgrades like a smart thermostat that you can handle your lighting, your heat, all sorts of different things. Even if there's a leak in your house, you can have an item attached to your water. So if there's a leak, it sends a signal to your phone. They also have refrigerators now that you can do all sorts of things. See what's in the refrigerator, be able to know what to buy, what you're out of. It's amazing that the technology that's out there. Also important is the energy efficient windows. Are your windows old? Are they at least double pane? If they are, then that's fine. Maybe they're very old and you want to upgrade them. How is your roof? Is it an old roof? Is it something that will come into play when people look at the house? Also, your HVAC. Is your air conditioning and heating upgraded? Is it efficient? Do you even have insulation inside your walls or in your attic? These are things that, again, make it more efficient, and it provides benefits to the next buyer. So that's important. So the next thing I would talk about is, if you had all those things taken care of, is your house depersonalized? Is it decluttered? This is when you're putting the house on the market. You want to make sure that the clutter is at a minimum. Depersonalized meaning take all your photos of your children, your grandchildren, and kind of put them away, because you want the focus to be on your home, not on your personal items. I would also make sure that the house is completely spotless clean. A coat of paint would be helpful too, as I've mentioned before. I would add some warm staging touches. If you have a fireplace that's working, put a couple of logs in there. If it's a gas fireplace, especially in the wintertime. Obviously in the summer you're not going to be using a fireplace, but you want it to be very inviting when the people come into your home. You can put some touches of the holiday cheer. You don't want to make it too personal, whether it be religious aspects, I would just keep it very neutral that way. Small changes sometimes can give you big returns. And most important is to make the house as presentable as possible. You want to look at your house as a buyer, not as a seller. So if you were a buyer and you came into your home, first looking at it from the outside, and then coming to the front door, coming inside, how would you look at your house as a buyer? How would you critique it? Because you want to be somewhat critical, because that's what the buyers are going to be. They're looking to reduce your price, not increase it. So you want to keep that in mind. How is your driveway going back on the outside? Is it been seal coated for the winter time? Is everything just in great shape? Is the lawn cut? Was it fertilized? Were the flower beds edged? These are all little things that don't cost a lot of money. But the important thing is you want to sell for more, and you don't want to sell for less. So that's basically kind of like a rundown of the things that are most important. And I'm always taking calls from people to give them advice, so I have no problem. My number's on the sign back there. And I wish you a great day and an enjoyable week. You take care. Bye-bye.